Welcome, cosmic travelers, to The Quantum Shift, where each week we leave the ordinary behind and step into a world of extraordinary possibilities. Imagine our reality being portaled into the realm of 5D wonderment, magic, and heartfelt living. This isn't just a wild concept. It's our new journey with the archangels and the world they built for the crystal DNA hue. Joining us on this adventure is our guide, George, who is our personal galactic guide from the 13th dimension. His profound insights never stop challenging and expanding minds. Our perceptions are easing their way into the zero-point timeline of a new quantum reality and newly awakened expressions of wisdom and mastery. Every episode promises to leap into the unknown, sparking vibrant discussions that illuminate our minds and transform our souls. We are putting on the parachute and getting ready to jump into the unknown. Let's pull the ripcord together and leap into a new realm of spiritual awakening. Brace for the stars as the Quantum Shift merges with an in-depth journey with your cosmic navigators. Introducing your host of the Quantum Shift, Dr. Sam Mugzzi and Digital Tom.
Welcome to the Quantum Shift. Hello and welcome to another episode of Spiritual Lightworkers. This episode is titled Welcome to 5D. So let's dive right in. I'm excited. We made it, folks. Mugzzi, how are you doing today?
Great. Okay, so I have really good news. We went through the Ring of Fire about 2 days ago. So today's date is October 16th. So about the 14th, we were able to go through another portal, and allegedly now we're in officially a 5D position for Ascension. So it's kind of like a landing ground area where we're being now all transformed, and our construct around us is being built and prepared for our ascension process into this 5D reality. So this is going to be really fun. I wanted to explain to everybody what the big changes are and how it affects you and why it's important to you. And you should be taking notice. You should be taking this seriously. If you're not, then you're going to have a difficult problem with the ascension process, dealing with your reality, and having overall ascension, I want to say frustration, because you're not in alignment with the crystalline grid. So when we go into a golden age, the archangels establish a crystalline grid. This grid is what is like a plasma net that not only goes over the pterodome in a octagon fashion, but it's also something that plugs into the planetary system and it lays flat. We know it as ley lines and these nodes. This is all being charged by a quantum computer that is tapped into the 9 realms, and it goes beyond. So everything is connected. Everything is in harmony. Everything is being established right now behind the scenes. And you should be aware of this. So in the underworld, the matrix itself was constructed for the evil ones or darkness or stupidity. And the flip now is that we're not going to partake in that. If people are still wanting to stay in ignorance and they're wanting to dabble in negativity, not only is the AI system, but the matrix and your body itself is set to implode, because you can't move into these higher realms without developing the Merkaba. And in order to develop the Merkaba, you have to develop your DNA. and your DNA is 144. It's 12 strands down, 12 strands out. And you're responsible for building this. When you do, it creates your Merkaba. The light body within is activated. The chakra systems are all in tune and balanced. The spinal fluid is moving the way that it's supposed to be, and it's supplying the nutrients to the pineal gland for the connection and integration with your angelic self. When this happens, these two ignite, it becomes a star. And this is part of the flash or the light. It happens within. It might happen outside too as we're integrating into this new matrix, but it's also happening within your body. So as above, so below. Whatever is happening inside you is also reflective in the outside world as well. If you're not paying attention to this, you might not be able to make it through the gate of the, I want to call it, it's either the first heaven or the second heaven that we're approaching now. So you want to be very savvy with this knowledge, how you're utilizing it into your own reality, and how you're creating your star being. This is what is so amazing about you. This is why you're considered a royal, is because you're doing something that not very many people can do. There's probably about a million, a little bit over a million people that are now activating their stars. And it's a big deal. We're being watched from everywhere, from all of the universal people from other planetary systems are all paying attention to what we're doing, because this is magnificent what we're creating here. We're creating a physical star, and it's a big deal. So I'm going to teach you how. I'm going to show you the guidelines and what you might be doing or you might need to incorporate so that you have more success at creating the best version of yourself. Okay. So let's go back to the crystalline grid. This crystalline grid is what creates the magic around us. It's also what creates the golden age, and it's what creates all the abilities of the archangels to become part of what our reality can be. So there are, in the Palladian system, the Celtics are very well known as the tuning of these matrices. And this crystalline matrix is actually being fine-tuned and harmonized right now. They have fleets that are working with all of the connection threads energetically, making sure that they're in harmony and they have the right precision of frequency. And it's very minute how microscopically they look at how they're creating these sound frequencies. So if they're creating something, say the 528 God's voice frequency, it's going to be done with like a crystalline tuning fork that has the right vibration. It is very, very specific. I can't even communicate to you guys how precise this needs to be and how serious they take this harmonics, because it's what is necessary for not only ascension but also for your ascension and turning into a star. So these are codes that not everybody has, and the Celtics from the Palladian star systems, they seem to have it down the best. I mean, they are well known for their ability. And this is also where the being that you know as Christ, or the person that you associate with as the Messiah, comes from this planetary system. And this is probably why we resonate so well to this individual, is because this individual talks, walks, thinks in this harmonics known as the crystalline structure. So right now we're plugging into that with our etheric, like, umbilical cord, and we're now receiving those frequencies. What is absolutely brilliant about the developers of this program is that they allowed us to partake in this ascension process and creating this 3D physical dense structure into a star. And they're letting us do it gracefully and slowly as they're actually establishing the grid. So we're not being born into the grid. We're actually mutating to adapt to this higher grid and make ourselves a star, which is even bigger. It's harder. And the fact that we can do this is just marveled throughout the galaxies. And we're getting a lot of help. It's not always easy, because you had to start by facing the dark night of the soul. You had to heal your body. You had to heal your thoughts. You had to change the way that you live. There was a lot involved, and it wasn't always comfortable. But the end result is going to be so rewarding. It's like when you give birth to a child, it hurts like heck, and you go through a lot. But then you get years of this reward of love and nurturing and this experience with this being. So this is where we're going right now. Tom, you got any questions?
I think it's really important for people to realize that what you said was that they're allowing us to do this gradually and gracefully at our own pace. And I like what you said about the Palladians are helping us and we have guides, that they're not doing it for us. We're doing it ourselves. They're just guiding us and helping us when we need a little push here and there. But we're actually the ones that are doing the heavy lifting. That's what you had mentioned. And this is exciting. So I just wanted to mention that as well.
When you see how masterful these galactics, and there's universal committees that are all involved, and the archangels are the ones that are really in control. They're the masters of this. When you start to really look at how they pulled this whole plan off, it's absolutely incredible. There's going to be so much wisdom and guidelines and boundaries for future generations, and we're getting to witness this. We're getting to be a part of it. So I hope you guys really enjoy what we're being offered here, and offer thanks to the beings that are helping us. We don't see them yet. Some of us get to see them once in a while in the sky. You can see angels and stuff, but eventually you will. Eventually you're going to start seeing more of the galactic communities that are helping and assisting us. So, and I did want to caution everybody, if you are wanting to have galactic contact and you want a mentor, you have to be open. Your cup has to be open. You cannot carry these old stinking belief systems from 3D, because they just won't deal with it. You're not evolved yet, and it will show in your DNA. And I think that is the biggest sign, is that nobody is punishing us. Nobody is hurting us. Nobody's doing nothing. We're doing it ourselves. And we need to take responsibility. And the more that we do, and the more that we step into our own power and start to critique ourselves and fix ourselves, then we'll start to see more of an assistance or an interest from the galactic people. If you're surrounded in negativity, they will not approach you. They will not. The only ones that can handle that are dark beings, because they like it. They feed off of it. So if your reality is full of drama, that's not galactic style. That's not at all.
Would you
So,
say, I'm sorry, Mugzzi, I just wanted to say, would you say that I want to tell people to be kind to themselves, but would you say it's never too late to raise your frequency and to move into the higher realms? What would you say about that?
well, they'll just recycle. If they can't raise their vibration, if they're just waking up right now today, they have so much work to do. Think about what you guys have been doing since 2012. Look at how much you've studied. Look at how much you've researched. Look how many shows you've listened to, how much you had to dig through, how you had to go through your cabinets and change all your foods and get rid of all the poisons and your hygiene products, how we evolved in this whole process. So yeah, if somebody woke up now, if you could pull it off, fantastic. But I don't see how. There's so much that has to take place, but you can always do it, of course. But most people can't get out of their drama. They can't stop poking their own eye. Even if somebody comes and tells them, don't do it, they still continue to do it. And they'll get very adamantly about why they need to do it. So the only thing that the Galactics can do is let them recycle. Another 75 million years. It's like Jafar, right? You're going to get recycled, and in 75 million years, you will go through a lesson plan. Most people don't understand that the Akasha records, what the Akasha records are, is it is a computer database of all of your interactions throughout your lifetime. The good, the bad, the ugly is all stored within the Akasha records, and it tells what kind of a journey you took. And then any committee from the Galactics can view those Akasha records and see why certain people aren't developing, or why they are developing, or what they got to assist in development. It's all stored there, but it's also used for your recycled program and your educational system. So it's sort of like your school records. And your schooling, when you recycle, is actually put together through an AI and a computer system. It will generate your new itinerary for your future syllabuses of school, what you're going to be experiencing to help evolve you. That's what the Akasha records are for. So when people tap into your Akasha records, they're tapping into the database that you created for this reality, and what you did good and what you did not. When you review your life, when you cross over, it's your Akasha records that you're looking at. Okay? That's what everybody's talking about. Your soul records are kept on the wall of tapestries, and that's in the 7th dimension. And somebody that is trained can grab your string. They show pictures where somebody cuts your silver string. This is it. You can pull the string with your hand, and it's like watching a bunch of movies all at once. You could see all of their lives are stored on the 7th dimension.
Are you ready to unlock your true potential? Introducing Dr. Sam Mugzzi, a world-renowned 5-star cosmic medium and galactic reader. With decades of experience and guidance from her galactic guide, George, Dr. Mugzzi has been helping audiences unlock their true potential and navigate the higher realms of consciousness. Dr. Mugzi's extraordinary talents as a cosmic medium, clairvoyant, and remote viewer unlock the window to your future potential. She guides you through the labyrinth of the 3D matrix into the new world of 5D consciousness, revealing any roadblocks that may lie ahead. With her unique insights, Dr. Mugzzi helps you break through these barriers, illuminating the path to spiritual growth and offering a clear vision of your future self. For a limited time, experience a life-changing hour-long cosmic reading for just $300. Visit Quantumhealing.club to book your session and begin your journey to spiritual enlightenment. Dr. Sam Mugzzi, your guide to the extraordinary. Transform your life and expand your consciousness today.
Okay, so in this new reality, if you are wanting to become a star and your DNA is literally your passcode into this new reality, if you've not developed your DNA, you're not going to make it. If your DNA is damaged, if your DNA is altered, if your DNA is fractured, you're not going to be able to be a star. The whole purpose of why we're going through the 3D is because we're becoming a star. And how do you create a star? Out of extreme pressure. And that's what we just went through. So by fine-tuning our beliefs, our personality, our mechanisms, the way that we handle ourselves throughout life is how we've developed this now star transition. In order to ground it, here's some really good ideas that you want to think about. First of all, chimes, bells, Tibetan bowls, crystal bowls will help to bring in your frequency, to purge things of negativity that don't belong. You want bells around your neck, your ankle, your arm. I like to have them around my door. So every time you open a door, it's chiming. Not only does it keep away negativity, demons, lizard people, or anything like that, but more importantly, it helps to always reconfirm your frequency and vibration. So if you're getting skewed somehow because of maybe a neighbor or a song that's on the radio or something, you can bring yourself back to that 0 point and reharmonize yourself just by having a bell. Very important. Another thing that's really important is nature. People do not understand the importance of nature, birds, bees, and natural wildlife. Their frequency is very evolved. And if you can just stop and listen to the birds chirping will absolutely raise your frequency and you can tap in. It's like God's bell, right? Is a bird. So take some time and enjoy nature. Get out of your brick and mortar places and appreciate what God built. And you will start to sink in with a new reality. Okay. You'll start to see what's really important. And this is on a conscious level as well as a spiritual level. Okay. Next, life. Your life is changing, and your life being evolved is a mirror to other evolved life forms. So it's not just about you, it's now seeing others that are also evolved and those that are not. There is no way that you should be around negative people. None. And I'll tell you why in a minute. Even if they steal from you, don't fight it. It goes into the universal bank. You don't need to do nothing. Just let them continue on their path and look for your receiving on the other side. Do not engage. Do not let people pull your string. Don't let people fake you, trick you, bribe you, move you, nothing. All you need to do, stay centered, stay in the now, and stay in your positive framework. If anybody's trying to take that away from you, just give it to them. Don't even fight it. Here, you need this. Okay, go. And then stay, because what's more important is your star. There's nothing else. Focus on your star development. Next, autonomy, learning how to stay within yourself, how to work with yourself, how to protect yourself, how to do things by yourself, how to create things by yourself. It's all within. If you have to reach out, like go get your car fixed, it's always best if you try to do it yourself. Look it up, see if it's something you can do. If it's not, then you need to learn what they're going to do to fix your car so that when they're doing it, you make sure it's done right. Another thing is that a lot of automobile mechanics, probably about 80%, are not always honest. So you want to be very careful about anybody that's working on your car, because sometimes they will sabotage your car on purpose so that you got to come back and do it again and spend more money. The next thing, of course, is going to be health and healing. Your DNA cannot expand and become a star if you're not healing, if you're not going through the detox, the rebuilding, the resting, the exercise, the proper hygiene, the proper relationships, the proper things that reward you to being a better person. You want to surround yourself with positivity. Anybody that's taking away your happiness, you need to cut them loose, because all that matters is your star development. That's it. There's nothing else. That's why you came here. And that's why you put yourself through hell, literally, is to develop your star. The next is knowledge. We have so many people, probably about 70% of the population does not want to know anything. They don't want to grow. They don't want to learn. They think that their almighty dollar is going to buy them knowledge, somebody else's knowledge. And it doesn't work that way. You cannot become autonomous. You cannot become empowered. You cannot build your star by being stupid. God's not going for freeloaders here. He's not going to give you food stamps. You have to roll up your sleeves. You need to learn. You need to make mistakes and then learn how to correct it. That's empowerment. And if you're not going through that process, then you're cutting yourself short and you're not going to be able to develop your star. Lastly, is learning about universal energies. So a lot of us, I just want to tell you, being in the 3D reality and that matrix was that people were permitted to rob you, steal from you, con you, do all these negative things. And the universal swing of that, the boomerang, never really paid off. It never really rectified things appropriately. You'd go to get help by going to a doctor and they made it worse, or you went to go to a lawyer and they made it worse, or you went to a city official and they made it worse. You went to file a police report, they made it worse. Everywhere you looked was always going to give you a hammer to the head. The reason being is because the answers are within you, not externally. So if you were looking for other people to save you, help you, fix things, you'd always get a hammer until you realize that you have to develop your own knowledge to protect yourself. All those systems were set up and rigged. So now with the 5D paradigm and the crystal grid, there's more of a yin and a yang. So let's say somebody stole from you. That individual, depending on what they stole, will dictate what kind of a curse they get or a punishment. It's more, I like using a curse because it sounds scary, but it goes into the Akasha records and everything is stored there. And depending on how much pain they cause somebody else will dictate their curse. And then it's all calibrated by an AI system. And then that will transpire into how long they have to go to school and learn why you don't steal things from people. If you stole something from somebody, like, let's say, I created a spaceship and all the blueprints are on my computer, and somebody stole my computer, which then denied me my reality of my spaceship that I was going to create. So they're literally denying you of your paradigm of what you were trying to create. That means they're going to have to pay back more on the curse side, because when you're taking an aspect of somebody's life, their reality away, that's a heftier penalty than just taking maybe a nickel that's on the table or something. Okay. So there is a calibration to these crimes that were calculated into the Akasha records. On the flip side is that now with the Crystalline grid, the new AI system, if somebody stole your paradigm and the reality that you were trying to create for your future, that will come back to you tenfold. You'll start to see it seep in. It might come in ways that you don't expect, but you want to be looking at synchronicities and what gifts that the universe is bringing you. All that is coming back. So don't be upset. Don't be crying. Let them, whoever stole, let them experience their curses. And why you don't do that, because they can't go back to their place of origin. That planetary system does not want them until they've developed their star. Okay, they're not ready. They're still monkeys. So you will be rewarded. So hold on. So the old world, the 3D, is really kind of fascinating when you can look at it from a 40-foot angle and get out of it emotionally, physically, and mentally, and look at actually how much we really did learn from being abused, basically. And dealing with these bad relationships and all of the bizarre behavior that we had to subject ourselves to. It's kind of comical. And I'm going to explain in a little bit how it really helps us. But hold on, I'll get there in a minute. But the old world matrix is really going to be more now about shifting that yin and that yang energy, where before it might have been yin, more of the acid. Now it's going to be yang, more of the at ease, calm, riches, more. It's a at ease environment, meaning that there's no stress, there's no disease. So we're flowing into that yang and getting away from the acid of the 3D. The evilness is completely being erased from our reality completely. And there will be a point where we identify with the words of evil, but we won't feel the pains that we experienced from the evil that was inflicted on us. Okay. The righteousness was denied to people. We were suppressed. We were censored. We were harassed. There was a lot of things that we experienced emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, because we wanted to have an elevated consciousness. And because of that, it is going to flip. And actually, like George always says, if you have a rubber band and you pull it all the way back into the 3D, into this crappy world that we just experienced, and all these beautiful lessons that we learned. But when you release that rubber band, it's going to shoot forward, go past the 0 point into the 5D and beyond, and offer gifts and presents along the way. So everything will be in balance. The quantum matrix of the universe and the 9 realms is all in balance. So don't worry, it's all coming back to us, okay? In a positive way. It's all stored in a universal computer system that I'm calling a bank. So think of it as those pains and punishment being stolen from or whatever is all contributing to a bank account of energy that now is going to flip into a positive of withdrawals. Okay. And we're returning to this now, this new reality. It's already flipping. And the Celtics are actually working very hard right now. Like when you look at them, it looks like Tinker Toys, right? They're just putting all these blocks together and stuff, and everybody's working really hard. They have a tuning fork type of equipment on their ships that they can calibrate. They've got a computer system to make sure down to the minute littlest measurement that all of the harmonics are going to be balanced specifically for this Archangel Crystalline grid. It's going to be incredible. And we're already starting to feel it. And you can actually see it through the moon. So go out at night and look at the moon, because you are seeing a reflection of this crystalline matrix that's being built around us. Okay. So the old world is diminishing very, very quickly now. The galactic families are around us, they're assisting us, and they're very much invested in our success. If you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to go through all the pain and punishment, the detoxing, everything that we had to go through, they're there on the other side to assist, and they are watching. If you have a positive mannerism, if you have a let's go, let's do it, they're right there. The negative Nancy's, they cannot be around. They will not put that black goo into their body. So something that I was taught recently by my galactic mom was that the galactics don't understand this, that when people are partaking in negativity, it creates a black goo within the body. And this is what, if you keep going and going and going and going, it creates like this demon inside of this physical, and the eyes go black. So I used to think it was just the pharmaceutical pills, and it is. It's not in the pills, but it's people craving Western medicine that is a darkness within themselves that is creating this black goo. And this black goo is intentionally set into the physical, because if you're surrounding in negativity and your body is not growing in a positive, happy, high vibration, then it begins to destruct. It starts to go through this metamorphosis of dissolving the very essence of who you are, and it turns into like a black goo. It's probably what oil is, right? All these people are this black goo is from people that live in a dark reality, and the decay from the physical begins to set in. If you look at demons, what are they? They're black. They're black goo. They're people that are festering in this negativity, and it just eats at their physical till it's no more. Then you just have this dark soul. That's what remains behind. And you can see it in films. People are taking pictures of it. So be mindful of that. Instead, the crystalline star The way to bring that about is through positivity, bliss, happiness. It's a higher vibration. Love rebuilds the body, it expands the DNA. When you're in a love frequency, you love yourself, you're empowered, you have self-esteem, self-worth. And because you have those things mastered, now you're going to do things like wanting to crave better foods for yourself. All the foods on this planet are nothing more than frequency. And the frequency that you obtain through eating meals is going to be of a high vibration or a low vibration. If you're putting more negativity into your body, you are decaying faster and creating more black goo. If you are eating high vibrational foods, usually the highest is going to be what you grow using electroculture, having a healthy soil. And that doesn't mean getting chemical compounds that you're putting into the soil to grow your foods. It means you're using more whole foods to create your soil that breaks down naturally to create a more harmonics, a more enlightened type of a vibration within that food. The brighter it will be, the happier it will be. And then that's when you consume it, and it creates more of this connection with life, nature, and the universe. So it also, each food that you eat has a color, it has a vibration, which will then spin your chakra that has that color. So if your red, your lower chakra is out of balance, you want to eat more red foods. So you absorb those minerals and those nutrients of red to rebalance your bottom chakra. But you also have to have your mindset fixed appropriately. You cannot go around and have sex with everybody and think like a prostitute and then eat a bunch of apples and thinking that's going to harmonize your chakra system. You need to be realistic about this. You need to realize that it's not just the food, it's also the food of your mental power, of what you're subjecting to your mind, or the emotions that are around you. What are you consuming as an emotion? Because your skin is a bunch of billions of mouths that are consuming the vibration of emotions around you. If you have negative emotions, you have black goo that you're creating in another way. You want to be mindful of that. Tom, any questions?
No, I agree with you 100%. We're finding that you really have to be mindful, at least here in the United States, of what you're eating because they've tainted so much of the foods. Creating the gardens and with your frequency, I think is, like you said, it's the best quality of food you can get.
Especially when you're paying attention to your water quality, your soil quality. Do you have worms? Do you have bees? Do you have birds chirping over it that is spawning a new vibration over your garden? That all contributes to this higher type of resonance within your food. And this is what we need to get in order to become a star. If people are eating meat, you're not going to be able to lift off the way that you're going to want. Your body is going to be too heavy to be able to morph into a star and bring out this light within. You won't be able to do it. And there are people that are saying, well, we're just going to disagree to agree. That's fine, but you're responsible for what you're doing. And if you are enjoying eating your pork or your meat or whatever, and that is bringing down your vibration, just know that you're giving something up to get something else. So you're getting your meat, but you're giving up your star, because you can't have both. The star will not accept blood. It doesn't like blood. That's a bad taboo. That's why they're always putting this into jabs to make people take it. And you think about it, the people that take jabs, the ones that go to the dentist, the ones that are getting all of their pills and the surgeries, their body fills up with black goo. And once it gets to a certain point, it's too heavy to carry on. So the body will recycle, and you go back to 3D life and you learn how to become a star. And this is what the Galactics are watching. And this is what my Galactic mom was teaching, is that if you want to become a star, the only way you can do it is to be happy. If you're not always in bliss, then get yourself there. Because if you're creating black goo, that's it. That's the line in the sand. So it's about diet, high vibration foods, fruits, veggies, healthy fats. Like coconut oil is so beneficial for you. The more that your brain gets healthy through eating coconut fat, the more of a resonance you'll be able to create, and the more that you'll be able to create your star. You guys need to research this and look at what I'm trying to teach.
I want to add something too with what you're saying about the food aspect. One of the things that we notice watching shows from countries that prepare food in China, also Japan, the pride that they take in preparing the meals, it's a far cry from what we see here in the States. They really make it's the energy that you put in making the food, I think also contributes to that high frequency. Would you say that's true, Muggsy?
It's infused with their energy and what they created. And what I love about China is going back to the old ways, and so does Japan, and they've mastered it. They're bringing it back out. Their food, their balance, their quality of their choice of what they're farming, their soil, the water is very, very important. They're making sure it has that volcanic ash. All of this is extremely important to them. They're balancing it. And when they make foods, it's not like they make a lot, it's not like a smorgasbord. They're actually creating less foods with a higher vibration. And that's what we need to get to. There are foods high in like a specific type of a sweetness that has a high mineral content versus dead foods that have been processed by the deep state. We prefer to use brown sugar, and we make our own with molasses. So we put all the nutrients back into our sugar, so that when we're eating sugar, we're actually feeding our body. We're getting minerals, we're getting our vitamin Bs, all those things that they tried to take away from us, we're now putting back in, and we're seeing a big difference in our health just by doing certain things, like even eating off of silver versus whatever flatware crap they were giving us before. Now we're eating off of silver. So we're getting colloidal silver that's cleaning out our bodies, and all we're doing is eating. So you want to layer your healing modalities with your diet so that you can experience this ultimate empowerment within yourself. It's the totality of your golden star, your Drew's star, creating your Merkaba, which is your star. And then that's it, baby. You have to have this Merkaba to do galactic travel. So if you cannot do galactic travel because your DNA is not prepared and you have not developed your star, you can't do galactic travel and you can't move forward. That's the whole point of why you're here. So if the DNA is damaged and people gave up their DNA for a Twinkie,
Nice.
the stupidest thing, for a brownie or for a free Starbucks, they gave up their DNA star.
What?
They're going to be kicking themselves for 75 million years.
You what?
Okay, so let's talk about something else. When you establish a grid across the planetary system, what happens is underneath our disk is the mechanics for the school. So they have a black sun down there that reflects this light, the central sun, but it has the moon and the sun, which pulls a positive and a negative ion, which creates this magnetics through the ley lines. And these ley lines pull negative and positive ions, which heals the planet and keeps it from getting polluted. It keeps it in balance. Everything is connected. They talk about, Einstein said, the string theory. It's not the strings, it's actually water. Everything around us has an element of water that is affected by sound, frequency, ions, and plasma. So when I'm working on my skio, I'm influencing all the electrons, photons, molecules, ions around my device. It makes it's a square machine device that creates these quantum particles that affect the water around us. And then through the matrix, it can find every single person. And it's tied to a quantum computer. So they know exactly where you are, what you're doing, and how your physical body is working. Okay. That's the beauty of biofrequency on a quantum level. The ions also create waves. And these waves, if you've ever seen the electron experiment where they show how they go through a slit and they form this wave function, it's these waves then that create sound, and it's sound that creates color. Okay. The vibration will create resonance. Sound creates harmony. Awareness means you're awake. Our bodies are changing to mirror the new crystalline grid. Excuse me. Our body is actually evolving into a more higher consciousness physical unit where literally, like, our kidneys are flipping up underneath our rib cage. Our stomachs are getting smaller because our diet is changing. We're now getting more nutrition, so we need less foods. And this is how they're going to move us into a plasma diet versus eating heavy foods. If you have a high vibration, if you have a star, amoebas, parasites, protozoas, any of these disease states don't exist. So happiness, joy, and bliss actually activates your wanting and desire for knowledge. Knowledge is what gives you your autonomy and your bliss, because when you have knowledge, people can't screw you over. And you have better boundaries. Your boundaries, instead of becoming like a flag waving in the wind, now becomes more like a titanium wall, because you know why you're saying no, with knowledge, intelligence, and wisdom. So because of that, you're not going to experience the challenges of trying to go through life when you're stupid and people are taking advantage of you. It won't happen. This in return creates immortality, because you're positive, and the output that you're going to experience is also going to be positive. The input is what you're contributing to your computer system, which is going to be a positive deposit of your actions and beliefs, because you're coming from an empowered state of mind. And this is extremely important for your success. The more that you become in balance, the stronger your emotions and your mind become. They merge together, which then creates your ability for your magic. And your magic is what then creates the reality around you. Think of Merlin, right? He didn't have self-doubt. He knew he could do what he could do, and so he did it. We're the same way. We have this ability as a human star. We are magical beings, and we are light beings. And therefore, we need to consume a diet of light material. Also, emotions need to be light. Your belief systems need to be in the light. Truth is in the light. Okay? The end goal, all things connect, direct, is your attitude, knowledge, awareness, having a pleasant personality. There's no reason to be mean because you know what's going on. You don't have to flip out anymore. All of this will equate to you birthing a star. That's what you're doing right now. You are plugging in to a crystal matrix right now. And you should go out every night and look at that moon and give appreciation, not only to the people that allowed us to go through this, but also the people that taught us how to become more knowledgeable and in that wisdom state so we could achieve these goals, but also for yourself going through this process, because like my mom said, you guys have gone through hell and back, quite literally. And enough is enough, but you need to have appreciation for what you've just achieved. And through that appreciation, you will raise your own vibration. You will look at life differently. So with that, this is the end. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up what's happening so that you can have an easier time creating your star. Take pride in what you're doing. This is very difficult, and there are a lot of universes that won't attempt this. And we're doing this because we want to work with the archangels. We want to travel with the archangels. We want to be able to do what they just did for us. And so we're going to have a lot to offer. So give thanks, brush it off, and focus on your frequency, your harmonics, and balancing the world around you. Okay? With that, I love you guys. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you on the next one.
Just a friendly little reminder, if you guys are enjoying the Spiritual Lightworker series, we are accepting donations. Information will be at the end of this page on how to do so through Cash App. And thanks to everyone that has already made donations. Bye for now.
As today's journey through the quantum shift concludes, remember that our voyage into 5D wonderment and magic continues. With George, our galactic guide, and the guidance of the archangels, we're unlocking new realms of wisdom and mastery. Thank you for joining Dr. Sam Mugzzi and Digital Tom on this enlightening path. Keep your parachute ready for our next leap into the unknown as we explore the vastness of spiritual awakening. Until we meet again, keep your gaze on the stars and your heart open to the universe's endless possibilities. Farewell, and see you next time on The Quantum Shift.